Restoration period from 1660 to 1700 AD. After the execution of Charles I, his family fled to France, and Oliver Cromwell came to the power as the Lord Protector of England. He ruled 5 years only and died on 3rd September 1658, and his son Richard succeeded him. He was an English statesman. Richard was the second and the last Lord Protector of Commonwealth of England. He reigned only 1 year. But he faced immediate problems as soon as he came to the power. In a word, Richard did not have the qualification to be the defender of England, and nobody was there to ruling England, and the commander informed Charles II to return to the throne, and the monarchy restored. Theatre reopened after Charles II came to the power because he was interested about theatre, arts, and literature. Restoration period, also known as the Age of Dryden. Through the work of Dryden, we can get a detailed information about the Restoration period. He was a poet, translator, literary critic, playwright, and a librettist. He is called the father of English criticism. His first published poem was a series of heroic stanzas on the death of the Protector Oliver Cromwell. Dryden's best dramatic work, Marriage a la Mode, and his All for Love, which was written in blank verse. Dryden was the dominating figure of the Restoration period. Dryden's greatest contribution to English poetry was his use of heroic couplet. His most famous poem is Absalom and Achitophel. It's a satirical poem which was published in 1681 AD. Dryden wrote almost 30 tragedies, comedies, and dramatic operas. His other famous works, The Hind and the Panther, it's an allegorical poem. Religio Laici, it's a didactic poem. The Enchanted Island, Oedipus, Alexander's Feast, one of the best odes of Dryden in the English language. Dryden was an influential English poet. Walter Scott called him Glorious John. John Dryden wrote all of his best plays before he was 30 years of age. Satire. Restoration writers love to picking on people, on society. John Dryden's Macflecknoe is a classic satire. Samuel Butler pokes fun at Puritans in his satirical poem Hudibras. French literature. This period come under the influence of French literature because Charles II has spent many years in France, and not only he dressed and styled himself according to the France, and he also developed a liking for French literature. John Dryden is another author who was influenced by French literature. His play, An Evening's Love, is borrowed from Molière's play. Heroic couplet. We know that heroic couplet figures by Geoffrey Chaucer. It's a pair of rhyming iambic pentameters, which we see in the Legend of Good Omen and Canterbury Tales, but it had been perfected by John Dryden and Alexander Pope in Restoration period. Dryden was the master of heroic couplet. Other important writers and their works. Samuel Butler, an English poet and satirist, he is best known for his mock heroic poem. His work, Hudibras, first part, which was released in 1663, and second, 1664. Two letters and characters. Dramatist of the Restoration period, George Etheredge. His famous works are The Comical Revenge or Love in a Tub, She Would If She Could, The Man of Maud, William Wycherley, Love in Wood, The Country Wife, The Plain Dealer, The Gentleman Dancing Master. William Congreve, an English poet, playwright. His best known plays are The Way of the World, The Double Dealer, The Old Bachelor, Love for Love, and The Morning Bride. Aphra Behn, the first professional woman writer. She wrote plays, novels, short stories, and poetry in this period. Her works are The Forced Marriage, the amorous prince, the Dutch lover, the rover, the young king, the roundheads, like father, like son, the emperor of the moon, Oronnoko. It's a short novel about an African prince who falls in love with a young woman, Amanda, which was published in 1688. John Bunyan. His famous works are The Holy City or the New Jerusalem, Saved by Grace, The Straight Gate, Great Difficulty of Going to Heaven, The Pilgrim's Progress, The Life and Death of Mr. Badman, The Holy War. John Vanbrugh. He was an architect and English dramatist of the Restoration period. When he was in imprisonment, he wrote his first comedy, The Relapse, followed by another play, The Prophet Wife. His other works are The False Friend, The Confederacy, The Mistake. George Farquhar. He was a playwright. His first comedy, Love and Battle, which was published in 1698. He wrote his masterpiece, The Bow's Stratagem, when he was taking his last breath of his life. His other works are Love and Battle, The Constant Couple, Henry Wilden, The Inconstant, The Twin Rivals, The Recruiting Officer. Now come to the historical background again. Charles II died on 1685 and he had no son, and he was succeeded by his brother James II. James too was Roman Catholic, that's why people did not like him. Later, his daughter Mary II and her husband William III removed him in 1688 and took the throne. This act is known as the Glorious Revolution in England. So that's all about today. Hope this video will help you a little bit.